How does a broke single mom that was fired from Denny's go on to become one of the top podcasts in the entire world? I don't know, but that's how it happened with me. So welcome to the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. Our motto in 26 is we're going to stack gold bricks in 26. Big bricks, big wins, all kinds, even little bricks. Every little thing counts, even tiny little gold. We're going to focus on building gold mines. You do not want to miss a single podcast I have coming to you in season 8 of the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. We're going to learn how to stack bricks in 26. So register, follow, don't miss a single podcast. They're all going to be great. And if you haven't started investing yet, this is your year. Don't let any more time pass. It's time for you to be a successful real estate investor, and that's going to happen for you with my help. So welcome to the most wonderful real estate podcast ever, season 8, 2026. So by a show of hands, how many of you are not making as much money as you think you are worth? Raise your hands. Come on. I know you feel that way. So let me ask you, if you're not making as much money as you think you're worth, why? The question is why? Why do you think that? Well, welcome to the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. I'm your host, Dwanderful, and I am here to show you the top 5 ways to close deals that are actually recession-proof. So welcome to the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. I'm your host, Dwanderful. I'm America's most sought-after real estate investor. I'm so excited you're here for another episode of the podcast. So I hear people say, the market's good, the market's bad, the market's this, the market's that, da, 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 da. So how do you close deals in every market that is recession-proof? I'm going to show you the 5 top methods of finding deals that are recession-proof. They are recession-proof. So number 1, the foreclosures. Okay, foreclosures, divorce, probate, people that haven't paid real estate taxes, and bankruptcy. 5 top ways to find deals. Foreclosures, divorces, probates, people that haven't paid real estate taxes, and bankruptcy. Now, why are these 5 recession-proof? Well, it's a good question, and here's the reason. These are things that are found in the public record. So wherever you're living, your courthouse is online. So you can go online and you can find out all the people that are in foreclosure. They filed the foreclosure. So here's what happens. They miss a payment, and they miss a payment, miss a payment, miss a payment, miss a payment, and then the bank sends them letters. Let's work out a payment plan. Let's work out this. Let's work out that. The bank keeps sending information. And then finally, the people don't make any payments, and the bank says, you know what? We're going to file the official foreclosure notice. It's a notice of default. It's a list pendants. It depends on your area. They're going to file this foreclosure notice telling the people they are officially in foreclosure. Now, when that notice gets filed, it is public record at the courthouse. It's not on the MLS. It's not something everybody has. It's not any place you can find it specifically. It's filed at the courthouse, and then at that point, all the investors know that this has been filed. Now, most investors are going to wait till a house hits the MLS, or they're going to wait for something else. But if you would reach out to people who are freshly served the papers, like freshly, the bank goes, here are the papers, we filed the papers, you're officially in foreclosure, it's public record, only at the courthouse, not anyplace else. It's not like a giant public record thing, only at the courthouse in that county. The county. Now, 99% of the counties in the United States are all online at this point. So you just have to go on there to whatever your county is. So for me, it's Denver County and or Jefferson County or Park County or Arapahoe County or one of those counties like that. And you'll go in there and you'll see all the recently filed foreclosures. Those are people that have already missed maybe 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 payments. The bank has sent letter after letter after letter after letter saying, make your payments. Maybe they worked out a loan modification and they weren't able to keep up with the payments. So whatever it is, it's filed at the county courthouse, okay? Except for bankruptcies. Bankruptcies are filed at the federal building. And people don't know that. So they miss a whole bunch of people because it's filed at a different courthouse. So a homeowner missed all the payments. The banks try to work it out. The banks are tired of trying to work it out. And the bank says, okay, we're filing these official papers. They're filed at the courthouse. You're in foreclosure. Now, from that moment on that the foreclosure has been filed, it still may be 6 or 8 or 9 months before the bank actually takes the house. People are going to get this notification. They can file what's called an answer asking the court for more time. They can hire an attorney. They can do whatever they want to do to try to buy more time at this point to stay in their house. And most investors still wait until they look in the MLS or they buy these foreclosure reports from these companies that are always way outdated. They're not going to give you the information that you need when you can simply log into the county courthouse and just log into the county courthouse and you can see all the foreclosures. Now, in all of our counties, it tells the amount of the mortgage. It tells when the sale date is. That would be the foreclosure sale date. So and depending on what state you're in, it would be called the sheriff's sale or the trustee sale. But we're going to call it the foreclosure sale to make it easy because you guys are listening from 1,701 different cities. I'm in 100 countries. You're listening from all over the world, all over the country. So if you're in a mortgage state, it's going to be a sheriff's sale. If you're in a trustee state, it's going to be the trustee sale. It's going to be different things. But we're going to call it the foreclosure sale just to keep it easy for everyone to know what it is I'm talking about. So once that foreclosure notice has been filed, homeowners still have plenty of time to bring up the back payments, even still. They can still try to work out a loan modification. They can still try to talk to the bank about a forbearance agreement. They can still talk to the banks. They can still try all these different things to save their house. So just because it got filed at the courthouse doesn't mean it's going to sale in a week. Now, unless you're in like Georgia, they have foreclosure sales the first Tuesday of every month. So when they file the notice, the first Tuesday of the month goes to sale. If you're in Virginia, I think it's 14 days goes to sale. So those people are really, really, really trying to work with investors and trying so hard to solve their problem. Whether, again, it's making payments, it's filing bankruptcy to buy more time, working with an investor like you and me, trying to get an investor to come in and help them. There's all kinds of things happening in the different areas, state by state. But we want to look at the county. So you go to the county courthouse and you see all the lists of all the foreclosures, and it has the address, the people's name, it has the bank, it has the amount that the original mortgage was for. It often tells when, how many payments are behind, and it definitely tells you when is the sale date. So from the time the foreclosure notice is filed till the sale date, probably have another 6 to 8 months. So what we do is we look at the sale date and then we start contacting homeowners. Now, why are those 5 things recession proof? Well, here's the thing. If you're in the greatest market ever and the people go, oh my God, the market is so great. There's no houses. There's nothing. Prices are going up, 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 up. Here's what's still happening. In regular day-to-day life, people are still filing foreclosure. And why? because maybe they're going through a divorce. Two payments, bought the house, one payment's leaving, this other payment can't afford the house. Maybe the people are in foreclosure because somebody got sick, or they're in probate because somebody died, or they got a job transfer unexpected and they had to move and they can't make this payment and this new one, so house is going to foreclosure. And if the market is so bad, they go, oh, it's the worst market ever, everyone's in foreclosure. That is also not exactly true. Hey, just a quick break. I hope you're enjoying the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. How many breaks, how many nuggets, how much information have you gotten so far today? This podcast is great. They're all great. So stay tuned and back to the podcast. But before we go back, follow me at Dwanderful, DWANDERFUL, Dwanderful.com. Be a part of the podcast, the webinars, the workshops, be a part of everything. Back to the show. So, even in the best market and the worst market, regular life is still happening. So, in the greatest market in the world where property values have gone up, people have missed so many payments, or they owe what their house is worth, that they still can't save the house no matter how great the market is. Or you're in like, oh, there's millions of foreclosures, or people are still getting foreclosure notices because of the same things. It's called life. So I have found over the last 35 years, I've been investing 35 years, okay, 35 years. I've seen every market. I've bought houses in every market, good or bad. And whether the market is great or the market is bad, it never makes a difference to us because we're working the courthouse. We're working the courthouse. So when someone's trying to sell you a shiny object that has all the foreclosures, probably not up to date. Someone's trying to teach you, I don't know, how to do whatever, find people, whatever. Those things don't necessarily work because they're not looking at the actual reasons that people get into foreclosure. So let's say today, the market is today. People go, oh, the market, we don't know what's going to happen. It's going up, it's going down, it's going up, it's going down, da, 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 da. If you'll just work these five things, just these five things, the market won't make any difference to you. I don't care how good the market is. There are always people filing foreclosure, people filing a divorce, people dying and going into probate, people that can't pay their real estate taxes, which is a lot of investors because a lot of the investment properties don't have the taxes included in the payment, and people are filing bankruptcy. So did you know this interesting fact? In the entire country, 75% of the people that file bankruptcy, they file a bankruptcy within 72 hours of the foreclosure sale. So if you have 100 bankruptcies that were filed fresh in your county, 100 foreclosures, 100 foreclosures or bankruptcies, 100 bankruptcies that just got filed. 75 of those people filed that bankruptcy because their house was going to sale within the next 3 days. So it's a Monday, your house is going to sale on Friday, people go down on Tuesday, they file bankruptcy, it stops the sale. Now, it doesn't stop the foreclosure, it doesn't get rid of the foreclosure, it just buys them time. So people are always telling me like, oh, the market, Dwan, I don't know. I can't find any deals. It's because you're not doing the basic thing. Now, like I said, I've been investing for 35 years, and I can tell you no matter how good or how bad the market's here, there, wherever the market's at, the regular cycles of life are still happening. People are getting divorced. People are dying. People are getting sick. A spouse gets cancer. They're not working. They can't make their mortgage payment. They're paying medical bills instead of paying for their mortgage. They go into foreclosure. So when the market's the highest it can ever be, houses are selling like crazy. Anyone that bought a house a year ago, it's gone up 50% in value. People are still filing foreclosures, bankruptcies, probates, taxes, bankruptcy. It's the worst market in the world. Property values have tanked. People are still filing foreclosures, divorces, taxes, probate, bankruptcy. So if you'll focus on the people and not the market, you'll find out that all of a sudden you have a plethora of properties that you can try to help people out. Now, I know this because way back when I started 35 years ago, I went through a very unexpected separation when my daughter was only 8 months old. So because my husband left, the money left, everything left, I had my car repossessed, which was so embarrassing. I also lost a house in foreclosure, which was again so embarrassing. And back then, nobody came and knocked on my door or mailed me a postcard or called me or texted me or emailed me or found me on Facebook because you know what? The internet did not exist. The internet became basically public in 1998. So when my daughter was 8 months old, I went through all those things and nobody came to help me because there were no trainers like me. There were no seminars rolling through town. There was no internet with the next shiny object of what you can do to be the best investor in your entire area. None of those things existed. So I ended up with a repossessed car and I ended up with a foreclosure. Now, if someone had come to me and knocked on my door or mailed me a postcard or anything at all, I would have reached out for sure. But nobody did, so I lost all those things. And that is actually what got me started in this business is I met some people and they said, "Oh yeah, we find foreclosures, we fix them up, we sell them." And at the time I would and we split the profits with the homeowner and that kind of stuff. So when I first started, I had these guys that were telling me, "Hey, you buy a house, you fix it up, you sell it, boom, you make this money." So back then, I would have to drive to the courthouse in West Palm Beach, Florida. I'd have to handwrite all the foreclosures. I'd have to use one of those big old map books and map out all the houses. And I would go door knocking with a baby. So I got a baby hanging on my hip. I'm knocking on doors and I'm saying to people, "Hey, I see you're in foreclosure. I'd like to help you out of your situation." So as you can imagine, I had a ton of doors slammed in my face because they're like, "I'm not in foreclosure. You got the wrong house. It's not me. I figured it out. I'm working with the bank. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that." And that was not the case at all because that happened to me and I didn't know I could work it out with the bank. I didn't know that there were real estate investors out there. I didn't know all those things. I didn't know those things were a possibility. So lost the house, lost the car, and I had a baby, which was, obviously for me, the winning point. I got the best thing out of that separation is I got my daughter. So I had planned on being the homeroom mom, the Girl Scout mom, the cookie mom, the field trip mom, the house that had the disco ball. So all the kids would stay at my house and be the fun mom and all the things like that. So upon my separation, I was like suddenly faced with the fact that my dreams were now shattered. How am I going to support this child? How am I going to get a job and still be the Girl Scout mom and the field trip mom and the homeroom mom? How am I going to do those things? I'm going to have to get a job. I have to put my daughter in daycare. And listen, if you use daycare, there's no shame in that. I just waited till I was 30, 1988, when Ayla was born, because I wanted to like get all that crazy partying out of my system, which I did. And then I wanted to have a baby and I wanted to do all these fun things that my mom did. And now I'm looking at, okay, I can't do all those things if I get a job because I'm going to have to put her in daycare and work my job and then spend my money I worked for to pay for daycare to raise my daughter. So I thought there has to be another way. There just has to be another way. There has to be another way. And as luck would have it, and timing and God and Jesus and everything else fell into place, I found some guys like, "Yeah, we buy a house, we fix them up, we sell them." So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that. So I go knocking on doors, baby on my hip, knocking on doors, knocking on doors. I finally find a house, and this woman, Barbara, is like, I will work with you. So now I don't know what to do next. I didn't know how to fill out sales contracts. I didn't understand the paperwork. I did not have my real estate license. Still don't have my real estate license because I'm an investor, not an agent. And so Barbara's like, yeah. So we kind of did a hug and a handshake and signed this basic sales contract that, looking back, it's like, what was I thinking? Because I didn't have the proper documents. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have this. I didn't have that. I didn't really know what it meant to fix up a house. I thought it was decorating. And as it turns out, I moved into this house. She moved out because I couldn't afford an apartment and this. She moved out. I put in the carpet. I make the blinds, custom made blinds. I decorate, do all this stuff like that, thinking, oh, I'm looking around this house. I'm like, wow, the kitchen's yellow and the appliances are green and the bathrooms need updating and all. And so then I realized fixing up meant rehabbing. So having no rehabbing skills of my own, I went to Home Depot. And at that time, they were still teaching classes in person, how to put in a toilet. So I'd take the class, I'd go work on my house, how to lay tile. I'd take the measurements of the kitchen and the bathrooms, and I'd take the class and say, these are my measurements. Give me all the stuff. Give me the tile, the thin set, the quick set. Give me the spacers. Give me the stuff. And I'd go back and I'd tile the kitchen. And I would take a class and I would do it. Here's how to paint. Here's how to do knockdown. Here's how to hang ceiling fans. So I took all these classes and I would go and do it, which I do not recommend. I mean, I had a tough start, but I made $22,000 on my first deal. So with that money, I was like, hey, okay, I'm going to do another house. So I did my second house, and I don't know how, but I made 50 grand on that deal. And then I did my next house, and I think I made 9,000. And at this point, I've got 3 deals. I've got this money, and I'm like, how do I have this much money in my bank account? Like, I'm rich. I have so much money. I'm rich. Because back then, making 22,000 on that first deal in like 1990, that was a whole year's salary for people at that time. So I was like, oh, I'm rich. I'm rich. I'm rich. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to keep doing it. But what I realized as I continued on in my investing, because I was still knocking on doors, is the only way I knew. I was talking to a lot of women. Like, yeah, my husband and I got married. He moved. I can't keep the house. We're going to have to sell the house. Da, da, da. And I started realizing that the people that were in foreclosure were people that needed help. So way back when I was really a new investor, like I only had 5 or 6 houses under my belt, I started holding little tiny workshops. I put a little ad in the paper like, hey, come learn how to work foreclosures. And like 10 people showed up. And I said, hey, listen, I can only do, 5 houses in a year. If all 10 of you did 5 more, we could help that many more people because there were thousands of foreclosures in Palm Beach County. That's how I actually started teaching, was to show people what they could do so that this homeowner didn't have to go through what I went through. So then that turned into a lifelong career, 35 years now, of me coaching, teaching, training, still doing deals, still helping people in foreclosure, still buying houses from the foreclosure list, from the bankruptcy list, from the divorce list, from all the different lists, still doing those things. So if you look at like the ebbs and flows of how life goes on, those things are still happening no matter what's happening out inside of the market. And then what happens is real estate people come along, agents, and they try to list the house and they owe what their house is worth, so they can't sell it, or it needs, $30,000 worth of repairs and they can't sell it. And I started to realize, like, okay, these people over here, foreclosures, bankruptcies, probates, taxes, bankruptcy, they don't have anyone to come and help them because people didn't know that, hey, I can go straight to the public records. Now, of course, back then we had to drive, write them all down, map them all out, and, all the things. So now all of this is online. So you can get online and look at all the foreclosures and print the list out. And the list will tell you the bank, when the sale date is, often how much they're behind, what their original mortgage was. It's just a plethora of information. And I started realizing, hey, instead of focusing on how many deals I can get, let me see how many people I can help out. Because I went through that and it was embarrassing. Mostly it was embarrassing. I had to call my parents, like, oh, we split up. Like, you shouldn't have married that guy. All the things that you hear from the people that are supposed to love and support you. So I started working that market, and 35 years later, I still work the same niche market, the same niche, same one. I still work the same thing: the foreclosures, the bankruptcies, the probates, the taxes, and the bankruptcy. Because again, no matter what's happening in the market, those people, most investors don't know to go look on the public record. Now, oh, and by the way, it's late in the afternoon. I'm in Florida. It's raining, so I'm having a little glass of wine. So cheers to you guys. Let's have a little drink together. If you don't have any wine, pause and go get some. Having some Pinot Grigio. Love that wine. Gotta tell you what, love that wine. So after all these years and teaching all my students the same thing, I have these students that are making $30,000 a deal, 40, 100, sometimes $100,000 a deal. And they're finding the people through the public records. Now, as you know, our motto in 2026 is we're going to stack gold bricks in 26. So this could be a wholesale. This could be a foreclosure. This could be taking care of your health. And I've got my little money bags. This could be a deal you referred to somebody else. Small coin, but still some gold bricks. Coins. And then we've got these little tiny gold bricks. We're stacking bricks in 26. This could be a referral. This one could be a subject to. This one could be a rehab. There's so many things that are available to you. If y'all will just listen to me this year and try to find the houses from the public records. So you get a list of all the foreclosures. And now, for me personally, I would still tell you to go door knocking. I know people are like, oh, I don't want to go door knocking. I'm scared. What if they're mad? What if they yell? What if whatever? You know what? People are never mad. People are always like so thankful, like, oh, you're an angel. God sent you to me. You're an angel. You're an angel. You're an angel. And they still, to this day, are so happy that you came in person because people don't like to go in person anymore. Somehow everyone's developed a fear of talking, probably because we text and stuff so often. But let me tell you some ways to find these people. Once you get the list of all the people, look them up on Facebook. Almost everybody's on Facebook. And send them a message and say, hey, I understand you're having a difficult time. I'd like to show you 10 ways that you could buy time and stay in your house. If none of those 10 options help out, I'm here and I would be willing to buy your house and help you move on to the next phase of your life. Now, what are those 10 options? We're going to cover those in the next few podcasts. And we're also going to cover each of these 5 ways over the next few podcasts, because this is where this is where the actual gold is in the public records, because people don't like to call them, text them, door knock them, email them, find them on social media, because you guys are always afraid. What if they yell at me? I don't want them to yell. You're so worried. But you know what? 10% of the people might yell at you for a second, and then they'll calm right down and say, what can you do to help me? I know for sure if someone had said, what can I do to help you? I would have absolutely worked with them. So if you want to make sure that your real estate business is indestructible, not working around the market or what people say is a good or a bad market, or they're not any of those, go to the public records. Use the top 5 things. Contact the people that filed bankruptcy and say, hey, if you look at the people that filed bankruptcy, you'll see their name on the foreclosure list. Say, hey, I see you filed bankruptcy. And the reason they filed bankruptcy is because they haven't solved their foreclosure, they haven't worked anything out with the bank, and they're not ready to move out. So they file bankruptcy because it buys them 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 more months to stay in their house while they try to solve the problem. But what if you came along and you said, I can solve the problem? You come along and you say, I can solve the problem. It's a brick for them and a brick for you. They get a move, you give them some moving money, you make money on the deal, and the bank gets the house off the books. So right there is 3 gold bricks. That's a win-win for everyone. It's a win for them, you, and the bank. So I'm going to talk a lot this year about how to focus on the top 5 ways to find deals that are completely recession-proof, because life keeps happening. People keep getting divorced. It's like 60% the divorce rate right now. 90% of people take 2 incomes. This one leaves. This one can't do it. They can't get the house sold because they owe what it's worth. It needs too much work. And they lose it in foreclosure. And every single time a house goes to the actual foreclosure sale, a little piece of my soul is always broken for people, because if someone like you or someone like me had just contacted them and reached out, we could have helped them. We could have given them money to move with. We could have gotten a deal. We could have got it off the books at the bank, and the bank would be happy. So we're just creating win-win-win situations all the time. So stop with the shiny object. Stop with everyone saying, there's a foreclosure list. You can buy this, you can buy that. No, just do it yourself. Get online. You might not know how to do it the first couple times, but you keep going through, you keep looking, you learn how to get the foreclosures in that, like from the last 45 or 60 days, because they're closer to, excuse me, that little bit teeny weeny bat of wine, that little teeny bit of wine gave me the hiccups. So, and you contact them and reach out directly and say, I have solutions for your property problems. I have solutions for your property problems. And you keep watching these podcasts, and over the next few months, I'm going to cover all the different things to say, all the different methods to help people out, and all the ways that you guys can make a lot of money. And you know, my average student makes $108,000 in their first 6 months. So if you think like, hey, $108,000 in the next 6 months, I could use that money, then you need to like and subscribe to this podcast. You need to follow me at Dwanderful.com. So I took Dwan and Wonderful and I made a new word, Dwanderful, DWANDERFUL.com. I'm offering this year webinars, half-a-day workshops, and 2-day workshops, in-depth 2-day workshops that will teach you every single way to close these deals, help these homeowners, and help yourself. So if you're just saying, like, I just haven't had success, I don't know what's happening, I don't know what I'm doing, I got on this webinar, that webinar, I bought this and that, stop it. Stop it. There's 5 top ways to close deals. Work with me. Let's discover the 5 ways, but you can start right now, tonight, after you listen to this podcast. You go online and download, at least just download the foreclosures. And you know what? Let me teach you what to say and what to do and how to structure those deals so that you can close an unlimited amount of deals. And you can close all the deals that you want to close, because no matter what happens in the market, like I said, people are still going through the regular things that happen in life. So people are like, oh, 2026, we don't know with the president, this and that, the market. Just recession-proof your business. Stick to the 5 basics. You will never not have enough deals. You'll never be scrambling for deals, because there are thousands of people every month in every county that are losing houses. So you just keep coming to Dwanderful.com. You keep listening to the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. And we're going to lock these top 5 ways in so hard this year that you will know every option that you have to help them and also make money for yourself. So opt in at Dwanderful.com and get on my mailing list so you can find out when I have a webinar, or when I have a half-a-day workshop, or when I have a 2-day workshop, and you can learn for yourself all the ways that you can make yourself wealthy. Would you like to make, say, $200,000 in the next year investing in real estate? Well, let me show you. Would you like to make 300 or 400,000? Let me show you. Would you like to become a millionaire? I will show you. You just have to keep listening, subscribe, leave some 5-star reviews, and keep hanging out with me. And I will take you to the top in places you never thought that you could go. So thank you for tuning in today to the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. Get on the list, get on some of my classes and trainings because I'm really buckling down on 26. We're stacking gold bricks in 26. So I'm going to help you stack as many bricks as we can possibly stack to help get you to. So when I say, how many of you make as much money as you think you're worth? You can say, I make what I think I'm worth because I'm working with Dwan. She is teaching me and showing me and training me, and I'm learning everything because of her. So you stay tuned. We'll be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel. And you remember that the truth is in the red letters. All right, everyone, I'm expecting to see you on my next workshop or my next webinar or my next podcast. And I'm going to focus so hard this year that if you do what I tell you to do, there's no way you won't close deals and you won't become successful. So let me teach you. I've been doing it 35 years. I'll tell you everything I know, what to say, what to do, what paperwork. I'll tell you everything. You just have to keep staying tuned and keep staying with me. And let me take you to places you've never been before. All right, baby. You have a good week, and we'll be back next Tuesday. Thank you for listening to the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. Our motto, again, is stacking gold bricks in 26. So whether you get a gold brick, a nugget, whatever you get, it's going to be great. All of it together is going to help you become the best real estate investor possible. But I need you to like, subscribe, leave some 5-star reviews, and just help keep building the podcast. I do this for you so you can learn how to become a successful real estate investor. So let's stack some gold bricks in 26. Stay tuned and don't miss a single episode.